God, we just bless you and thank you for being our Father. You're such a good Father. You know us, you love us, you tell us that every hair on our head is numbered. So I pray, oh God, for this time that we will have together. I pray that the eyes of our understanding will be enlightened, that we will leave here differently and understanding a little bit better that which we need to do. We thank you for every presenter. It is in the name of Jesus that I pray, your Son, our Savior. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Good morning again, everybody. I'm Barbara McLean Smith. Most of you know me around here.
I'm Regina Freeman.
And I wanted Regina to really introduce herself because I've gotten several calls about who's that on the Daily Dose. Well, this is Regina Freeman,
Yes,
okay?
yes, yes.
So remember. Well, thank you all for coming out or staying, actually, this afternoon. Um, our ambassador, Grace Lias, is very impassioned about having people vote. And voting, especially during the primary.
Yes.
Most times people say, well, I don't vote in that election. And I think the analogy that Grace gave this morning is really good. If you don't make the playoffs, then you definitely can't go, to the championship or whatever. So that was a good analogy. Same thing with voting.
Yes.
So many people have misinformation about voting and if their votes count. I am here to tell you because I've been working with the supervisor of election now for the last 3 major elections. Every piece of paper, every vote, every pencil, everything is counted down there under secured lock and key.
Yes.
So those of us who are there, we have to stay to each location, submits their ballots, bring them down to the supervisor of elections office, and then they're counted while, down there. And also, we do have somebody here who, Karen Bradford, not to put you on the spot, what's your department? Vote by mail. And so those are other questions that people, say, well, I sent mine in by the mail, but I don't think it was received. I can tell you that Karen and her department, they work extra hard to make sure those vote-by-mail envelopes are there, open, counted, and also it goes through a couple of counting processes. And I don't know if anyone has heard about the canvassing board, but if there's any question about if my vote's going to count, did it get there or whatever, then we have a canvassing board who are objective. They're not working for the supervisor of elections. They come from the community, and they too will make decisions. Sometimes people put a mark on the outside of their ballot where you're supposed to actually circle the inside of your ballot. Sometimes those marks are outside. That ballot may not go through the machine, but it is not torn up. It is not thrown away. It is brought into the supervisor of elections office, and the votes are counted. So that's one thing that we certainly hope that people understand. The new SOE for Orange County is Karen Castor Dental, or Dental. She has changed a lot of things all to the good, and she's making sure that we enforce or enhance, I'll say enhance, integrity, honesty, and keep the process going as it should. So we're just here today to assure you that your votes count, pass it on. The most important thing, we have 2 ambassadors in the back. They have voter registration forms. If you are not registered, I please ask you to register. Book closing is tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 5
July
p.m.
20th at 5 p.m. That
5
is
p.m.
correct.
Yes.
So if you have not registered, if you have changed your name, if you have changed your address,
Your signature.
please Well, signature, yes,
Yes,
definitely,
yes.
yes. Signature is really important. And it should be legible, your signature on your application. So change of name, change of address, and once you change your name, at the bottom of that registration form is a place for signature. That signature should match what will go into the system. And we know as people age, signatures do change. And so if you're not sure about yours, but I can also assure you that we go through to make sure the signatures match. Because even though it may look differently, there's some part of your signature, no matter how much it changes, stays the same.
Stays the same.
Right.
Yes.
So, any questions for Orange County? Tomorrow is book closing, July 20th, and our ambassadors in the back. Do you have anything you want to add? Okay, thank you so very much.
just kinda
One more thing, I see you, Minister Collins. One more thing. Early voting starts August the 3rd for Orange County. It runs 14 days straight, August the 3rd through the 16th. The election day, if you want to wait until the actual election day, it is August the 18th. Even on TV, they had early voting starting August the 8th. It actually begins August the 3rd at 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And those 14 days, it will run from 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. So if you want to walk in to do early voting. And with the ID, it doesn't have to be a driver's license, but it must be a picture ID. Driver's license, because everyone who votes may not drive, but if you have a picture ID. Another question that comes up a lot of times, may I use a selfie or something on my phone? And the answer is what?
No.
No, right. Yeah, so no, you cannot. And Minister Kimes, I saw your hand.
Yes, ma'am. That was really where I was going because there was an issue, one of the last elections, about mail-in ballots not being counted or not being counted on time. So I was going to ask, would it be better for us to early vote?
Always. Always.
Early voting is always really good, and believe it or not, we do serve. Oh my gosh. First of all, let me back up a minute. Usually we have 20 to 22 sites. This election, starting on August the 3rd, there are 27 locations. There's a difference between a location and a precinct. For early voting, you can vote anywhere in those 27 sites or locations.
Yes.
Precinct, or the general election, which is on the 18th of August for the primary, and on November the 3rd for the general election. Those dates are stable. They stay. They're not going to change.
You have to go to
So
the
if you're a person say, well, I want to just go vote, you can early vote for 14 days for both. We'll be there from August the 3rd to August the 16th, and then we'll be back in October, starting October the 19th through
The 31st.
November the 1st. November the 1st for Orange County.
Okay.
Yes,
October the 31st for Seminole County.
right. Okay. All righty. Any other, oh, yes.
No.
No, you need a photo ID and something with your signature on it. Does not have to be a driver's license. A passport works.
Okay. Oh, for the mic.
Oh.
So you're it has to be a photo ID, but if the photo ID has your signature, you're good. But if the photo ID does not have your signature, then you also need something with your signature
Right. And this,
along with the photo ID.
right, this year for Orange County, some credit cards with your IDs on them and a signature will be accepted, but starting in 2027, that will no longer be considered a valid form of ID. Government issued all the time, but not a credit card. That's right.
Yes.
No, this time.
This time.
It can, but it's starting 2027, no.
Then no. So for this election, let's say you have your credit card with your signature and a school ID. That will be fine. But for next election, no.
Meaning,
In 2027.
yes. So 2027 going forward. 2027 going forward, IDs that we have used over the years, other than government issued ID, you can use your driver's license, but they tell us, don't let that be the only form that the person has, because I was just told the story the other day, Friday, that somebody came with an old driver's license, and the old driver's license belonged to a woman. They wanted to register to vote, but it was a man standing in front of her. So the question was, what do we do? Well, we are not the gender police, nor are we, any other police. So we have to rely on a government-issued or a regularly issued ID. It has to be an ID. Passports work, because on your passports, you should have a picture as well as a signature. And it's also government-issued. Yes, ma'am?
What about your precinct card you get in the mail? That's got to move in the mail. What about that?
You can bring that. Your
For your
signature is on
signature.
for your signature, but we need a photo ID.
Right.
Right. Karen, you want to say anything about vote by mail?
I mean, the ID card does not have your signature. You can use that to vote. It's just an information card.
Right. Right. And they're scanning cards, your driver's license or your Florida card. Yeah, registration card.
Yeah.
And also those of you who may have received or will receive or want to receive vote by mail ballots, if you have them already and you plan to mail them in, please make sure you sign it on the back. The date is not an absolute, but it would be good if you date it. Signature is an absolute. Those ballots must be signed, yes.
Is the voter registration card required?
No.
No. It's not
Photo
required.
the only requirement is photo ID and signature.
Something, and it's some signature.
Right.
That's it.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Who? Uh-huh.
Should we still be encouraging them to do something?
Yes.
Yes. Always.
Well, first of all, they would have to have their rights restored through the courts. Someone who is mentally imbalanced or had mentally challenged, I'll say, they too, if they've been charged as mentally challenged, they can vote, but it has to be declared by the courts as to what their condition is.
Right.
Those with service animals as well, you can bring your service animal to the location, and we cannot ask you what your condition is and why you need a service animal.
On the question about the returning citizens, I was in a training just a few days ago, and I do have cards out on the table from Equal Ground, and they have a resource number there that people can call to help get them started on getting their rights restored.
You will also be able to get those from early voting sites as well. So early voting, the whole process for all the counties are really trying to encourage people to vote.
Yes.
And you have one vote, one voice. Please use it.
Yes. Okay. We'll go through our next slide, please. Maybe. Okay. So the purpose of our session, as we've gotten into it, is really just to educate, not to endorse anyone, but we just want to educate you. We want to connect our faith to our responsibility, and build confidence when we go to the polls that we are just an educated voter. It's one thing to be a voter, but it's also very important to be an educated voter. All right. Our next slide. Okay. And Mrs. Elias and Dr. Smith kind of touched on this already, why voting matters. It's our civic responsibility. Elections, Mrs. Elias talked about that earlier today, how our elections affect our daily lives. And our primaries and the midterms are the main elections that they kind of hope we don't show up for, because those are the elections that a lot of our school board members are in. And just to FYI, a school board member only needs 2,500 votes to get their position. So we want to make sure that we are electing school board members that are just for us. You know, it's really starting as an educator. I see where that is where a lot of the hate is starting in our schools, pulling our books and things like that. So we want to make sure you're paying attention to who you're putting on your school boards. Like she said, all of these local things are in the midterm election. So we want to make sure we're going out and we're voting. And then just the history behind voting in the Black community. It really started with what we're doing now. It started in the churches, getting Black people together to exercise their right to vote. And a lot of people that marched for us and got beaten for us, they never got the opportunity to vote. So it's very important that we do. Our next slide. Okay. So the 3 QR codes, know it's on your ballot, will take you to your sample ballot. So if you have your phone, if you go to your camera and you direct it to the QR code that is connected with your county, it will take you to your supervisor of elections where you can see your sample ballot. There is a sample ballot for the primaries. There will be a sample ballot for the general election. It's not available yet because a lot of the people that will be on that general election is based on their primary. The one thing we didn't talk about with the primary is a closed election in Florida. So in Florida, in the primary, you can only vote for your party that you're affiliated with. So if you're affiliated with the Republican Party, your ballot will be all people that are running for Republican positions besides your judges, school board, things that are on both ballots. But as far as like the governor primary, the Senate, the Florida Senate primaries, House primaries, those are only going to be whatever party you're affiliated with runoffs. And then from there, when we go to the midterms or the general election, that's where everyone votes for everybody. But our primaries here in Florida are closed primary. Our next, just making sure that you are ready to vote. You've checked your registration status. If you have not registered, you're registering today. Today is really kind of your drop dead day. Tomorrow is drop dead day at 5 p.m., but you want to make sure that you are register to vote if you want to vote in the primary. Now, if you're voting in the midterms, you have until, I believe, October the 5th to register to vote for that election. But if you want to vote for the primaries, which is coming up, you have to be registered by tomorrow, 5 p.m. Again, Dr. Smith already addressed making sure you've updated your address, name, signature, party affiliation if you want to switch. And then our first-time voters, just making sure that if you have a first-time voter, you've checked all the boxes for them because it's their first time. And making sure that they're ready to go, they have their ID. We talked about the required IDs in Florida. We touched on the vote by mail. And to renew your vote by mail, you can use those QR codes also. And then we talked about Florida being a closed primary. One more. Okay, District 47, is that in Orange County? Candidates will be on this primary ballot. So we want to make sure that you're seeing those, okay? All right. And then this is I'm sorry, I had some questions in the back. I'm sorry. Yes, they will not. If you are no party affiliate or independent, you are not voting in the primary. Not in the primary. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Everybody gets a ballot, but they won't get the party specific.
Okay, they won't have the things on their party.
Judges, and they have the school board.
Okay. So I was corrected. If you are no party affiliate, then your ballot, you will not vote for like the governor runoff, the Senate runoff, those things. Your ballot will have, again, your school board, anybody that's running for all non-party judges, all of those will be on your ballot. Okay. And one more thing.
I know usually during primary there are several pages. We only have a one-page ballot for this, right, for this election. One page ballot.
And the print, I will, seeing a sample of it, the print is very small. So if you need readers, make sure you bring your readers because it is a very small print also. So make sure you have your readers.
In Orange County, we will have magnifying glasses for you, but if you have,
They didn't
I said in
mention that.
Orange County,
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
In Orange County, we have magnifying glasses for you. And also, neither of us mentioned, if you need assistance, you can get assistance at the polls.
Yes.
Either workers there or a person that you have pre-registered to be your assistant can help you.
Yes.
So if you don't have anybody or didn't have anybody on your registration, you can still vote that day, but workers from the location will assist. And we always have two, so that one person can influence the other.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. So, yes.
Yes, you can assist each other, but only one of you
Can have your ballot out.
have your ballot out or go into the booth.
Right.
So yes, we're hoping that you have assisted before you get there.
Let's say if I finish mine first,
Mm-hmm.
my wife may have, I'm not saying I'm
So that's gonna be so if you go in with her in the beginning, how it was explained to me when I went to training, you only one of you can have, like, you can't have your ballot and her ballot. So if you finish your ballot, I would ask them in the office first before you did that, because you're not going in to assist her in the beginning. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't want anyone to feel influenced, even if it's a husband and wife. So I would ask one of the workers.
Well, at Orange County, the answer is no.
It's probably going to be no.
Yeah.
Because you didn't go in at first.
Right. The answer is no. But the way around that is to complete your sample ballots at home. And also, if you received a mail-in ballot,
Yes.
you can bring that with you to be surrendered, surrendered there, and you can vote there. If you left it home, you'll have to sign an affidavit that you will not try to use it again. So we're asking, if you didn't bring it with you, to tear it. If you brought it with you while you're standing at the check-in point, the tablet operator is supposed to stamp canceled on your mail-in ballot. So only one vote, one person. And we have tried to kind of not have husbands and wives, because we get a lot of that. Sometimes, I know 2 years ago at least, we had families, whole families, the mom, the dad, and the children, grown children, all of them come at once. And only one person can go into that booth. So once your vote is cast, then actually you're supposed to deposit it in the machine that's called the DS300 and wait for your whoever outside. Yvonne. I will. Right. Yes. Right. Yep. That is so true. Her question, or no, statement was, if the husband and wife have declared needing assistance, that's in the tablet already. So yes, but at the same time, he cannot or she cannot go inside the booth. Only one person in the booth at a time. Because too often, the site clerks are instructed to make sure only one person is in the booth. Again, I'm talking Orange County.
Well, how it was explained to us in Seminole County, if you bring your mail-in ballot, you may turn it in, but you may not take it with you to the voting booth. They are going to stamp it and all that stuff, but you have to leave it or take it back to the car. But you cannot use, like, you can bring your sample ballot inside of the booth. You cannot bring your mail-in ballot inside of the booth with you. Yes, you cannot bring your mail-in ballot inside the booth. So if you want to go from mail-in to voting in person, then you have to give that mail-in ballot up. You cannot keep it. Okay?
And let me add one more thing for Orange County. You may take a photo of your ballot.
Of your ballot.
Your ballot and your ballot only. Photography is not allowed, according to state statute, to be done in a voting location at all. At all. The only time is that if you have your sample ballot, you don't remember who you were going to vote for, you can take a picture of it with your camera, and you can take that in the booth with you. But the actual physical ballot, no.
And speaking on that, I know we don't have many young people, but you can, like, selfie yourself and all that kind of stuff. You can't do any of that inside of the voting precinct. But like she said, you may take a picture of your ballot only. You can't take a picture of your ballot, someone else's ballot. So you have to make sure we're following that rule.
I want to make a comment about all of the sample balloting and all of that. At the end of this session, we will keep the QR code up. And here's what I did. because I get an absentee ballot. I get it because I don't know what's going to happen on election day. So I always have that as my backup. So I order that. But because I order that, I don't get a sample ballot in the mail. And I wanted to know a few weeks ago what was going to be on my ballot. That QR code that you will see, all you do is you type your name in at that site and it will bring the ballot up. I printed that. That will give you time to study it, talk to spouses, talk to children. You all get together and decide what you like, what you don't like, and you mark your ballot. That sample ballot you can take with you into the booth, just like they said, or you can take a picture of it. The point of this session is for you to be prepared so that you know what you're doing, you're not confused when you get there. And so now we've got plenty of time now to get ready. And not only will you be ready, but because you are getting ready early, you can help your family, your friends, and your neighbors. And if you vote early, you can use election day to drive somebody to the polls if you need to, or to encourage your young people in your family. Call people on the telephone. You can use voting day for those people who have not done anything prior to that. We're going to be ready, and we will have voted, and we can help others. But I'm urging you, if you have not received your mail-in ballot or you have not received your sample ballot, go to this site that she's going to leave up, and we will show you how to do that so that you can print out your ballot or at least look at it so that you will know ahead of time and you'll be able to help others.
Last, we have the dates up here. We talked about for the primary, the deadline is tomorrow, 5 p.m. I have the 8th through the 15th, but it is the 3rd through the 15th for early voting. Election day is on August the 18th. For the midterm election, which is in November, you have till October the 5th, all right, to register to vote. Then you have election primary dates. For Seminole County, it's the 24th through the 31st, but Dr. Smith says for Orange County, it ends on November the 1st. It's November the 3rd, and the midterm election is November the 3rd.
And also, just to clarify something, because I just heard Grace say absentee ballots, that's no longer the language. And mail-in ballots, yes. Because we don't want anybody to get confused. Mail-in ballots, they used to be absentee ballots.
But they're mail-in.
But now you mail them in if you wish. Are there any other questions? I know it sounds like a lot and it may sound confusing, but the process is really very, very good. The integrity is there, and there's so many checks and balances until you really don't have to worry about your ballot if you want to vote. Our main concern, and especially in our community, is to get our people out to vote.
To go and vote.
Right, yeah, because we don't come out, and especially we don't come out for midterm elections. Minister Byron?
Yeah.
For early voters, everybody.
No. He's talking about his mail-in. But she said, yes, he can. You could drop it off there.
While they're there and they're voting the seniors, they'll have a box, put yours in there, and they'll bring it back. They might write your name down because they're bringing it in, they're taking back, bringing in more than they took. So yes, people have done that. All week we've been assisting the.
The reason why I say that was the previous years I was there, I was told I couldn't do that.
No, you can. Even if you work downtown or vote there during your lunchtime or your break. I was responding to the question, if you could vote.
Oh,
I was referring to your question about early voting. Okay. And that's another thing, please. We have to make a distinction between early voting and general election voting. You have to know the difference. And I think that's why a lot of our people get confused. You can drop your ballot at any of those 27 sites, any of them. Early voting sites. Early voting sites are either called sites or locations. The regular election, they're called precincts, and that's determined by your address. So you have to vote where you live for the general election. You can vote any of those 27 during early voting. Right? Drop-ins and in person for early voting. Because not only do we do local searches, we also do statewide searches.
all right. Let's see. Uh-oh, sorry.
Really, they can vote at their election office right now.
Yes.
I'm saying, they don't have to wait for early voting.
Yeah, if you got it.
Same thing.
Yes, she said if you have your early voting ballot and it's ready to go, you can turn it in now. You don't have to wait till early voting starts.
But it has to be turned in to the SLE.
Right now.
Yeah,
Seminole, no matter what county.
yeah, you could turn them in now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
If you do not have a ballot,
Yes.
you've not requested that, are you still able to go prior to the, the 24th of October? Are you able to go vote prior to that at the supervisor of elections office?
Or an early voting location in your area, close to where you
But
are,
they're not over until
August 3rd.
August the 3rd.
But you do have two close to you. Tibet Butler.
She said there's two close to you.
There are two close to you. Tibet Butler on South Apopka Vineland Road, and also Southwest Library on Della Avenue. So I know that there are two close to you.
Right, but my question is,
She's asking, okay,
Let her ask the question.
October,
Yes, yes.
but I would still have to have that
the mail-in
the
ballot.
mail-in ballot.
If you want to do it prior to early voting, the early
Don't
vote,
have a mail-in ballot.
right, you can't do anything prior to early voting. The only people that can do anything prior to early voting is the people with their mail-in ballot that's ready, that they're done filling out. So,
I mean, I know Orange County, once the ballots go out, like ours went out
Thursday
July
or
2nd.
Friday, yeah.
Anybody, if you're going out of town, and you're gonna be gone for a month, you can went in there as of July 2nd. They would submit you, it would be another, like a vote by mail. You can go into the office.
Okay, Karen, you want, no, she doesn't want to. Okay. What Karen has said is that if you have your ballot and you might be traveling or whatever, you can go into the office and drop your ballot off.
but she's saying you could go and actually vote.
Not vote, not in her,
Beverly was saying she doesn't have a vote by mail ballot, but you're gonna be leaving before early voting even starts. If vote by mail ballots have been mailed out, you can go to the supervisor election office. You don't have a vote by mail ballot, but they will issue you what they call a ballot on, like the ballot on, they will issue a ballot right then. The whole packet. As long as we have mailed out first, we have to have mailed out some type of ballots. You can come into the office and you're away, and they'll give it to you. Like somebody came in Friday, they came in, they printed out a ballot, they're getting ready to leave town. They don't want to wait for it to come in the mail, because what if they don't make, it's an emergency, they had to leave. So they came in, they printed out a ballot, they filled it out. It's best to fill it out right there and turn it right in.
Right.
Only there before
Only there.
anything happens.
Right.
Yeah, before anything, right.
Let me clarify.
So I'm not sure about Seminole, I'm sure it's the same thing.
Let me just
It
clarify,
probably
let
is.
me just clarify what I think I heard, because that is different than
Anything I've ever heard. Okay, so let me be sure I understood what you said. You are saying that even if you do not do a request by mail ballot by the deadline, but
No, not by the deadline. Deadline is deadline.
okay, let me finish my question. No, let me finish my question so I can be sure I understood what you said, because what I heard is very different than my understanding, and I don't want people to be confused. What I heard you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that even if I have not requested a vote by mail ballot by the specified deadline,
July 20th. Yeah.
which is July whatever,
The deadline for vote by mail is, August 6th.
what, but it doesn't matter. I want to be sure I understood.
A deadline is a deadline.
Okay, but please let me be sure that I put my question out, because I want to tell you what I heard, and then you can tell me what's right. What I heard you say was that even if I have not requested a vote by mail ballot by the specified deadline, period, I can walk into the supervisor of elections office and request them to give me a ballot because I'm going on vacation. They will give me a ballot and let me vote. Did I hear that right? Okay, so now let me be sure that everybody hears right, because that's what I heard you say. Okay, all right. So what you are saying is this: if you have requested a vote by mail ballot by the deadline, you have not received it because you are going on vacation, has not come in the mail, I can go into the office and tell them to hand it to me. Is that what you said?
Okay, and another thing is, say if you didn't do it, but if the deadline has not passed, the form is there, they can fill out the form and then the process.
So part two is that if I have not requested a vote by mail ballot, the deadline has not passed, I still want to get one, but I'm not sure I'll get it in time because I'm going on vacation. If the deadline is not passed, I can go into the office, ask for the ballot, fill out a request by mail ballot because the deadline has not been passed. They can issue it to me. I can fill it out, turn it in before I go on vacation.
If we have started sending out ballots.
Okay.
It does not happen if the ballots have not
Okay.
gone out yet.
So here is what you all need to walk away with that. If you want to vote by mail ballot, request it early so that you can get it before you go on vacation. But if by chance it doesn't come, you can go and get it if they've already started sending them out. But you're hoping that you won't have those because that's a very unique case. It's a very unique special circumstance. So the best thing to do is make sure you follow the deadlines, get it early, and you have to do it on time, and make sure that you get it in before you go on vacation, even if you have to drop it off at the supervisor of elections office before you leave. Is that clear now?
And the vote is just for registration, party change for deadline. It's not the vote by mail deadline.
Right, we got that.
Are there any other questions?
But
Any
Mr.
other
Wilson-
questions? Orange
Mr.
County
Wilson,
or?
did we answer your question?
He was
That you
asking
can
about
put-
assistance.
Can you put your ballot in the box at work? And the
Yes.
answer was, yes, you
Yes.
can. Okay, you're good to go. All right. Okay.
All right,
Wait a
before
minute, I
she
heard
moves
someone-
on. Provisional, why would you do that? Okay, he brought up a new term which requires a new definition. The last part of your statement is not correct. Provisional ballots are used for those who come into a location and say that they had a mail-in ballot, that they mailed it in, but when we look on the tablet, it's not there. Every ballot that comes through, every person who registers at the tablet, you know, and the operators of tablets get prompts for every single part of the process. The prompt is there. We do not encourage provisional ballots at all. Yes, they do get counted if it's a legitimate ballot. That's when the canvassing board really comes in handy, takes over to make sure the provisions meet the state law. So we don't offer unless, the scenario is if someone comes in, tablet operator says, oh, I see you were sent a mail-in ballot and you returned it. That's it. That's last resort,
Yeah,
the provisional.
yeah.
That's the very last
don't
resort.
want a provisional.
Because if you did not mail it back, you can vote right then. You're there in person. No, it's not provisional. I'm sorry? Uh-huh. Right. No.
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 You
No,
just
no, no.
sign an affidavit.
Right. There's
that
an
you're not gonna mail
affidavit
it.
in the tablet itself.
Yeah, that you'll sign that you're not
Right.
going to mail that
Right.
ballot in.
And if you by chance think that you are going to get a second vote when that ballot that you signed and swore you wouldn't wouldn't
That one
use,
will get booted out.
then it will be thrown out.
Yeah.
Because it's now listed in the system. The data system has it all. It's a little teeny tablet with a whole lot of information in there. Okay?
Yeah.
So provisionals are given, but only under certain circumstances. And
Very
most
extreme.
times it's when the voter is just, I'm going to say off the chain, just fussing and cussing and doing everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So that's when we suggest a provisional. Because on Friday I did training, and one of the tablet operators was given provisional. I kept seeing these green and blue envelopes, and I knew that should not have been. But the clerks, as well as the tablet operators, they get tired of talking to people, telling them the process, and then they say, okay, well, you can vote. Here's a provisional.
Yeah.
But that's not what you want. Provisional is the very last step. Very last.
And just to kind of add to that, they have stressed to us that everyone gets to vote. So you get to vote, whether, they've told us, don't argue with them. Everybody gets to vote. Even if they come to the wrong precinct, they get to vote. Okay? Yes.
Early voting location.
No, but everybody gets to vote. So, just real quick to finish up, we are asking the costume that you research your candidates. Be very careful as to 1 minute little ads and things that may come up on your social media, maybe a partial debate. You want to make sure that you are researching your candidate. Researching your candidate is just as easy as pulling your sample ballot. You go in, you put your candidate's name in, and it will tell you all the things they voted for, who's funding them, all the things. You want to be a very informed voter. Again, we're not here to endorse anyone, but we are asking that you really do your research and you vote for people that have your interests and our community's interests at heart. So if you want to research your candidate who's voting, I know on the Seminole County site, if you click on the candidates that are running, they have a hyperlink that will go to their site where you can research all of the things they've voted for in the past, about them, their views, their everything. So you want to make sure you're researching your candidate. Yes, the QR codes that we'll put back up. The supervisor, I know for Seminole County, I'm not sure for Orange, for Seminole County, on the ballot section website, there is hyperlinks to each of the candidates that are running. And the hyperlink is just where it turns blue. And you can click on it and it'll give you the research about the candidate. Okay?
On the website, Orange County website, you will find a code. You can check yourself. You can check the candidates. You'll even see how much money they have to run their campaigns.
Yes.
There's no secrecy. All you have to do is use the QR code or go to the website for Orange County Supervisor election. And all the information is there. Only thing that's not there is what the candidates really want.
Yeah, what they really want you to know. Yes.
Right.
But yes, you want to make sure that, again, just making sure that you want to be aware of the big thing for me is being aware of the short media clips, and do they tell the whole story? And again, even when you're reposting things, make sure that candidate supports your views, not just a view, but all of your views before you're reposting or things like that on social media.
Passing along bad information. But I'm a member, full disclosure, I'm a member of the League of Women Voters. So this is another option for you to find out about candidates. Vote411.org. Vote, V-O-T-E, the number 411.org. And the candidates are listed there, and they have given them a list of questions, and they answer those questions. Now, the candidates don't have to respond, but most of the candidates do respond, and they give you a lot of information on that site as well.
Okay. All right. So just being an informed voter, okay? Next slide, which I believe is the last one. All right. And this is just for you, just you recognizing misinformation before you share it. Who's the original source? Is it a full quote or a clipped moment? Look at the dates, the official election resources to confirm. Just being aware of misinformation. There is a lot of misinformation out there. So please make sure you're being aware of those things. And then the last, that's it. Oh, the last slide, I just want to make sure you have a voting plan. So your voting plan should be just a simple card. Have you checked on your registration? What date did you do it? How you're going to vote? What your voting date is? Your location? Your transportation. If you need someone to help you get to the polls, if you need to help someone else get to the polls, and making sure you have reviewed your sample valid. And again, just the final charge, you don't want to just tell people to go and vote. You want to help them become informed, prepared, prayerful, and confident voters. Okay? Thank you. Okay.
Before we go, thank you. Before we go, those of you who may be interested, there are flyers out in the foyer with some recommendations from Dr. Bracy. We're not, again, endorsing anyone. She just gave names of people who are running, and that flyer is out there. right by the bookstore. Yeah, by the bookstore where the newspapers are. So you can pick up a list there. Also, I'm sorry. Okay. Returning citizens information is also out there. So the process, and I can't stress it enough, and I'm telling you, I have stressed it to people who are being trained to run these sites so they'll understand, because there's a lot of misinformation and confusion about who's running and what they stand for. And I see we just had Heather Pierre come in, and we know she's running for District 6, I believe, Orange County. I would like to thank husband and wife team, Roger and Winona Banks, for coming out. They're back there. They have applications. They have a QR code. I mean, if you're ready to go home now, you can touch that QR code. I mean, take a picture of the, for Orange County. Those are all three, right? Because somebody asked us about Lake. Yeah. Someone just asked this morning about Lake County. All three.
County is up there. The only one we're missing is Osceola County.
All right, so, yes. So, but you can, just like you can get the information for Orange County from the website, you can get it from all three counties. Their supervisor of elections office. Mr. and Mrs. Banks, like I said, they have applications there. If you need to register, change your name, change your address. And with that name change on that application will be your signature also. Please know, tomorrow, July 20th, is book closing. Book closing. So you may register after that, but you will not be able to vote in this primary.
One last thing about registration, my daughter reminded me. Students can register as early as 16. They can't vote, but they can register. And it's good to start them, learning the process, okay?
On that note, you can also register through College Board. I know that's how I got the notification. It was the easiest way for me to register because I already had most of my info, like my address and stuff, online. So if you're taking AP classes, then that is another way you can register.
Yes. And when they go get their permit, but sometimes when they go get their permit, they don't ask them if they want to register because they're not 18, but they can register to vote as early as age 16. They just cannot vote until they're 18.
16 and 17-year-olds can register. If they turn 18 on or before the general election day, they can still vote. Yeah? Yes. That's it. All right. Thank you so much. And I hope this has been helpful.